But we didn't always have parking on Ryan Street. There was one block there that we basically, one, maybe 2 blocks that we had parking. But now that we have completed the streetscape, or are very close to completing the streetscape, we do have more on-street parking, which is a good thing. We wanted to do that. It helps to slow traffic down. It makes it more pedestrian friendly. However, when we have Mardi Gras parades, we can't have people parking in those parking areas. So we've been trying to put up some signs and some notices about the restrictions on parking, and I think John's going to go over that a little bit more detail. But you know, I think it bears repeating. Okay, we're not going to have parking on Ryan Street, and I believe it's on Ryan Street between Mill and Broad. Okay, between Mill and Broad, no parking from 8 a.m. Friday morning, which is day after tomorrow, through Tuesday at the conclusion of the Krewe of Krewes Parade. So don't park in those areas. Okay. Now, we just go back to the way life used to be before the streetscape, basically. And except for those couple areas where there was parking, we're not going to have parking. So you have to use the parking lots like you used to, make other arrangements. But those areas are going to be barricaded. And we did pass an ordinance, and we can issue a ticket. We don't want to do that. And I know it's going to take a while for people to get accustomed to that. I mean, accustomed to the new rule. We'll try to be patient, and I ask the community to be patient as well in helping us to implement this. But it's in the best interest of everyone. You can't really have a parade and have people trying to navigate through cars to grab the beads and do all that kind of thing. So that's really one of the major changes that we're going to have. Let me kind of give you an overview of the activities that are planned for the day. We'll have at noon on Tuesday here in Lake Charles. There'll be the motorcycles, hot rods, and classic car parade. Then from 12 to 5 is the street party in the 300 block of Pujo Street. And then, of course, at 5 o'clock is the Krewe of Krewes Parade. So that'll be the activities here in our community. Both parades will begin on West Mill Street at Lakeshore Drive and continue south on Ryan Street to Sale Road. So the route basically same, a little bit of a change there perhaps, but that's the route that we're going to try to navigate, and that's why we need your participation and your help. Before I turn it over to John, I do want to reiterate how much we appreciate the businesses all along the parade route, our downtown businesses and those that have their front door on the parade route. They have to put up with a lot. They have to accommodate a lot, and I want you to know how much we appreciate that. We understand that it is somewhat of an inconvenience to you, but we appreciate your cooperation, your participation, and your support in helping, like I said, to make this such a special holiday and such a special celebration.
Friday, February 8th, we have the Merchants Parade. That starts at 7 p.m. downtown to Midtown. On Saturday, February 9th at 2 o'clock downtown, we have the Krewe of Omega Parade and the Krewe of Barcus, which begins at 3 from the Civic Center. On Sunday, February 10th, we have a little bit larger parade, the Children's Parade, which begins at 3:30, I believe, and also the boat parade along the seawall, which is very enjoyable, begins at 7 o'clock. On Monday, February 11th, there's the Royal Gala, and that's going to be at the Civic Center at 7 p.m. And on Tuesday is the grand finale, and as the mayor touched on already, we have the motorcycle or hot rod parade that begins at noon, and the Krewe of Krewes parades that basically begin around 5 o'clock. And it is the largest parade, and you know, from what we've heard is that, you know, Lake Charles is second to the Mardi Gras parade events in the state of Louisiana, so it's become bigger and better, and we're pleased about to bring this to you guys. But for Tuesday, what we want to talk about a little bit is that the barricades, the Public Works crews will begin placing out barricades Tuesday morning around 6:30 a.m. They will also place out some barricades Monday at strategic locations. They won't be put in place, but they'll be laid out. And as the mayor had alluded to, we passed an ordinance that prohibits parking in these areas that at one time people weren't allowed to park. We created these parking areas in downtown as it creates a more pedestrian-friendly atmosphere. But what we try to avoid is people parking at these locations along the parade route that create safety problems for the pedestrians and also for the protection of the vehicles. So beginning Thursday, I believe, they will be placing these barricades out. They won't be put in place. We'll be placing them out. And then Friday morning around 8 o'clock in the morning, they'll be locking them together, which will actually prohibit parking along these areas. And this area will go from Mill Street up to Broad Street. We're really asking the people to abide by this ordinance. It's for the protection of their vehicles and for the protection and safety of the people participating in the parade. Traffic along Ryan Street will be restricted to one lane Tuesday in each direction up to about 4:30. And then about 30 minutes before the parade begins, everything will stop and it'll be prepared for the parade. We do expect a lot of slow traffic throughout the day and really heavy in pedestrian movement along the parade route. So we ask, that the motorists try to be extremely cautious when driving along Ryan Street and be mindful of those who are trying to enjoy the event that day. As the mayor talked about, Lock Park, again, a resolution will be passed tonight creating or identifying that Lock Park is an alcohol-free, family-friendly zone. And we've done this the last 2 years. It's been very, very successful. And so we encourage those families and citizens who want to enjoy this type of environment to come out and enjoy this alcohol-free zone. It'll be completely barricaded off, so it offers some certain amount of protection for those families. And so we really try to encourage those to try to participate at Lock Park on Tuesday. Our street vendors that are providing gifts and trinkets for the Mardi Gras, we remind them that they're required to have an occupational license permit to provide these vendor services. There will be no vendor permits issued from the Civic Center to Clarence Street. And so those vendors that get those permits is from Clarence Street south. And so, but we do remind them that the permit is required, and law enforcement will be checking them to make sure they have the proper permits in place. The do's, thank you, Julie, the do's and don'ts list, we post this up each year. We think it's very important to try to encourage the people participating in the parades to try to follow this. If you look at it, we've added to this list a couple of times over the years, but there's a few major ones that if you look at that really make sense, we ask you to try to follow. First off, watch the children. Most of this is for the younger kids, and so we ask you to keep an eye on your kids. Don't let them run towards the parade floats, and try to be courteous to those participating in the parade. It's a fun event. You don't want to get in fights over who's going to catch a beat. Try to enjoy it and be mindful of the neighbors in the area. And also, we encourage people not to bring glass containers. It creates a safety issue. So these do's and don'ts will be laminated and posted along the barricades along the route. And so we encourage all the businesses and those participating in the parade to try to abide by those do's and don't list. We also have some cardboard trash receptacles that we're going to be handing out today. They were donated by Republic Service, Waste Management, and IESI. We really appreciate their donation of these trash receptacles. We thank you guys for participating in Mardi Gras by providing these. The city is handing out some plastic liners to go inside these boxes. We really encourage the businesses to pick them up. There's no cost to any of them to place these out along the route, and we'll try to encourage the participants in the parade and those enjoying the parade to try to use these trash receptacles. The Public Works Department will be picking these trash receptacles up the following morning, I believe, beginning around 7 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock. And so try to get those out on time. And a few years back, we had some real rainy weather, and it creates some issues with the trash. So try to have your premises picked up and placed in the trash placed into the receptacles and put out for the following morning. The downtown event, there's going to be a block party at the corner of Pujo, from Pujo to Bilbo, from Bilbo to Ryan Street on Pujo. And it will be closed from 10 a.m. till after the parade. There'll be a live band with music. Security always becomes a major issue. We do want to thank those in our law enforcement agencies who help provide this security for us. We have strategic command centers placed out along the route on Tuesday. The Lake Charles Police Department will man the security from 17th Street North, and the command center is going to be at ICCS, I believe. And I believe the Beauregard Sheriff's Department will be assisting the Lake Charles Police Department in the security as well. The Marshal's Office will also be coordinating with the Police Department and will work north into the Civic Centers. The Sheriff's Office will be working security from 17th Street South. They will have 3 command centers, I believe. One will be at Cellmart, one at Kmart, and one at the Autoplex locations. Is that correct? And then the McNeese Police will provide security south of Cell Road.